Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be doing a sleeving photo cards video, and this video is probably going to be quite a long video because I do have a lot of photo cards to sleeve today. And then in addition to that, I am trying out a whole bunch of new photo card sleeves from Meow Cafe for a couple specific collections. So that will probably also take a little bit of extra time because I will have to zone in and focus and just pay attention to what I'm doing in terms of when I need to use those particular photo card sleeves. I did, however, arrange all of these photo cards in this tray in a very specific way to help me with that. So I guess I'll just go through all of the photo cards that I plan on sleeving today. So they're kind of broken down into all their major groups. So we have ITZY in the top left right here. Then we have anything Red Velvet related in the center. And then over here on the right, we have anything aespa related. And then Le Sserafim is down here in the bottom left. And then in the bottom middle, we have kind of a miscellaneous section right here. So on top here is a Got the Beat photo card, but I also have Everglow and Chew and IVE and just a whole bunch of random photo cards in this pile. And then in the bottom right is actually all of the photo cards that I plan on sleeving with the new photo card sleeves that I got from Meow Cafe. So these are all of my Rujin and Giselle photo cards. They don't want to focus right now, but you guys will definitely be able to see those later. So I have those set to the side. And then I also do have off to the side here, not in the tray, a whole bunch of duplicate photo cards that I also need to sleeve as well. So we do have, like I said, a lot of photo cards to get through in this video. And in addition to sleeving the photo cards, I do also want to use this video as kind of like a vessel, I guess, to talk about my Twice and NMIXX concert experiences. So I saw Twice back in February and I saw NMIXX in April. And so I finally now have the chance to talk about those concerts with you guys. I didn't have the chance in my last sleeving video because I did a no talking ASMR style video. So it's actually been a pretty long time since I've been able to kind of just turn the camera on and record and kind of just chat about whatever comes to my mind with you guys and kind of just have a little vibe check of how we're doing and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk about those concert experiences and then probably just whatever else comes to my mind. All right, so just finishing getting set up here. And so I'm opening these ID sleeves from Meow Cafe. So I'm going to be trying those out because the first, I guess, photo cards that I wanted to sleeve for this video are these right here. So I have an OT6 set of ID photo cards for NMIXX, and then I have a 4 photo card set for mini photo cards for Yuna Ice Cream. So I want to use the ID sleeves for these specifically, and then also, in addition to the ID sleeves, I do have some regular white sleeves over here on the left. So these are basically going to be my background photo card sleeve, just so that you can't see through the rest of the photo card sleeve to the other side. So we're not going to be able to see the backs of these photo cards, which if you're curious, this is the back of all of the Yuna mini PCs, but I would rather not be able to see through the front of the photo card than to be able to see the back. So that's how I am going to operate with all of these photo cards here, but we're going to put this first Yuna in her sleeve, and then that is good to go. And then we are going to proceed with the rest. We now have this next Yuna mini photo card here. She's in some bright blue gloves, and she's got a hat on. I think this concept is in photo book B, if I remember correctly. And then also I think there might be 1 or 2 photo cards of her in this outfit for the ice cream version as well. The next mini photo card is of Yuna in this pilot's hat. It kind of reminds me of a pilot outfit, or maybe a stewardess outfit perhaps. But we are going to grab the white sleeve to put this ID sleeve in right there. And so we're going to center that, and that's a good look at that mini photo card. And last but not least, we have this horizontal photo card for the mini photo card, and I'm not sure I think I want to orient it this way in the sleeve right here. It seems like even with the mini photo cards, they still have to make some of them horizontal, which if you guys have been long-time viewers of the channel, you know I don't particularly like horizontal photo cards, but I still think this one's pretty cute. I just wish it was vertical. But these are all of the mini photo cards for Yuna Ice Cream that will be going into my photo card binder. And then up next, I do have 6 photo cards of NMIXX here. So this is an OT6 set. And I decided because I now have these ID sleeves, I'm going to sleeve all of these IDs, and these will also go into my photo card binder somewhere in my miscellaneous section. I actually will have, when we get to my storing photo cards video, probably in the next video, we will have a lot of photo cards to put away in my miscellaneous section, so that will definitely be a journey for sure. But we are starting off with a Lily right here, so that is what Lily looks like in her ID sleeve. Then up next we have a Haewon, so we're going to slide Haewon in, and one thing I am noticing is that because these ID sleeves are a lot narrower, like on purpose for, you know, the IDs or the mini photo cards to fit in them, for someone like me who has big fingers, it's not exactly easy to get those in there, but we are still doing our very best, and they still do look pretty good in the ID sleeves. And I mean, it's either this or nothing else, right? I mean, it's, you know, the ID sleeves, or I have to put them in like my large inclusions binder, or I have to put them in like a regular photo card sleeve, and then they're also like moving around and stuff a whole bunch in a regular photo card sleeve. So I'm still very happy to have the ID sleeves, but like I said, it is kind of hard to like get the actual photo card in them. And now we have Bae, so Bae is going to go in this ID sleeve here, and we are going to try and keep her centered. Doesn't really want to cooperate with me right now. All right, there we go. I think she is centered, and so then we're going to grab a white sleeve and slot that in very nicely, and so that is the Bae ID. Up next, we of course have Jiwoo, so Jiwoo is going to go in this sleeve, and then we are going to grab the white sleeve and put her in that, and make sure that's good to go. And so that is another good look at Jiwoo's ID. And then certainly last but not least, we have Kyujin here. And so once we have Kyujin in both of her sleeves, our OT6 set will be done. And all of the ID sleeves that I need to use for today's video are also going to be done. So this is another look at the OT6 set for NMIXX and their IDs. And then we have this set of 4 photo cards for Yuna Ice Cream inside of her ID sleeve. So very happy with these ID sleeves, and I'm very excited to add these to my repertoire of sleeves that I can use for, I guess, small items, especially like mini photo cards, since it really seems like those are starting to become a thing. Like, I would not be surprised if we saw mini photo cards pop up more and more as like regular album inclusions. So I definitely think it would be good to have some ID sleeves on hand. But now that those are out of the way, I'm going to get into regular photo card sleeving. So let's begin. All right, so now we can kind of get back into the flow of just regular photo card sleeving here, and I can obviously like focus on sleeving the photo cards, but not focus quite as hard. That's why I didn't really start like talking about the things that I want to talk about during that ID sleeving portion, because I kind of wanted to just focus and I guess lock in on sleeving those photo cards for the first time and using those photo card sleeves for the first time. So now we can get back to our regularly scheduled yapping, which will include my concert experiences for Twice and NMIXX. So I guess I will start with Twice because that was, I guess, farther away. So that happened all the way back in February. So I think that was the middle of February they came to DC. But unfortunately, my concert stop, or both of the concert stops in DC, because they did two, Dahyun was not there because she was recovering from her ankle injury. I remember reading what it was. I think it was a fracture, but because it was so long ago, I don't totally remember. But I do think there was maybe like a hairline fracture in her ankle, and so she could not make the trip for, like, I guess the second leg at the time of their American tour. So what it seems like they did was they did maybe like a week or week and a half of shows like leading up to those DC dates and after, but there was like a 10-day gap in between those American shows. So they did maybe like 5 or 6 American dates, then flew back to Korea, took like 10 days, and then flew back to America. And the second leg started actually in DC. I think we were the first stop on their second leg. And so that's how that was scheduled. And like I said, unfortunately, Dahyun just couldn't make the trip because her ankle was injured, which was unfortunate for me because Dahyun is my favorite member of Twice. So unfortunately, one of the main reasons I was going was not going to be there. But with that said, the concert was still really, really fun, and I'm really glad I went. And it was a good time. I mean, it was a long concert, first of all. It was like, I want to say 3 hours, maybe close to 3.5. They did a lot of songs. I want to say the set list was maybe almost 30 songs. It had to have been at least 25 because it was a lot. And then, of course, like, each of the members had their solo song that they did, so that also took up like quite a bit of time. But all 9 of the members, or I guess it would have been 8, for that show because Dahyun wasn't there, but all 8 of the members kind of performed abbreviated versions of their solo songs, so they weren't exactly like full performances, but there were still 8 different performances, so that takes up quite a bit of time. And one thing I really liked was the stage setup. So this was actually my first time going to a concert where the stage was not set up just like a normal stage, where the stage is like on one side of the arena or venue or whatever, and then everyone else sits around it or whatever. This was a 360 stage, so there was a main like square stage in the center. And then there were little, like, I don't know what to call them, just like walkways, I guess, to another smaller stage at each end of the arena. So there was kind of 3 stages, and then there were 2 walkways connecting, like, all the stages together, or the 2 stages to, like, the main stage. So on my side of the arena, because my seats were on the second level, so we were kind of, I guess you could call it, like, club level, if you're familiar with like how seating works at American arena venues. I guess you would call it club level. So we weren't like 400s or 500s. We were like 200 levels. So we were still second deck, but we were still pretty close to, the stages and stuff. But we were kind of tucked away in a corner. And so on my side of the venue, the solo performances that we got were Chewy's solo performance and Jihyo's solo performance. But then on the other side of the arena, I think it was Jonghyun did her performance on that other stage, or at least it started on that other stage on the other side of the arena, and then she kind of like worked her way into the middle stage. And then I think it was the same way for Momo. And then all of the other members, I think, did their like solo stages on the center like main stage. They didn't come to either side of the arena. But Twice definitely like came to all sides of the arena. All the different members kind of just when they had time to not necessarily like dance and perform, they did walk around while they were singing, and they were saying hi to the fans and making sure to just like spread the wealth, I guess, and make sure that wherever you sat in the arena, you got to see, your favorite member or, whatever. But it was definitely a really cool stage setup, and I liked the elevated stage that they did in the center. So I forget what song it was, but there was this one song that they sang, and each time one of the members sung, they had like, it was like a cube, right? Or like a Rubik's Cube or whatever in the center. So if you imagine a Rubik's Cube with like 9 different squares, each one of the members was standing on top of one of them, and each time they would sing, their cube would like raise, or their portion of the stage would raise. I thought that was so cool, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really nice effect to add to just like the stage performance. And they didn't do that for every song, but they did incorporate that quite a bit in all of the performances. But I just remember that one, like, I guess ballad or slower type song that they sang, I felt like that worked really well for that song. So I really enjoyed that particular stage effect. And then as far as my favorite performances, or I guess songs of the night, I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm kind of just a casual listener of Twice, so I don't like too much of their music, but at the same time, there are a couple songs that they have that I really do like. And so my favorites were The Feels, because they did perform The Feels, and then also I Can't Stop Me was also on the set list, and so I really enjoyed that. And then they did have the song Takedown from K-Pop Demon Hunters, which I was very excited to see live, so that was a really nice performance to see. And then I think during the encore, I think they did Feel Special, and I can't totally, I think it was maybe, was it Alcohol Free? I think it was maybe Feel Special and Alcohol Free were the 2 encore songs, and I really liked both of those encore songs. So that was a really good way to like end the show, because it ended on 2 songs that I really enjoy from Twice. So I really liked that part. And so, yeah, the concert was just really fun. I didn't have like a light stick or anything, but one of the friends I went with did have a light stick. So he was waving it most of the concert, and that was a good time. But I didn't have like a light stick, but there were a lot of light sticks across like the entire arena. And so that kind of, added to the atmosphere, and it was really cool and stuff like that. And it was also my first time seeing a K-pop concert at Capital One Arena. So Capital One Arena is the main arena, or I guess the biggest arena that's in Washington, D.C., because I think for concerts it can hold like up to 20,000 people. I think that sounds correct. But for like hockey games or basketball games or whatever, it usually only seats like, I don't know, 14 to 15,000, I think. But like I said, that was my first experience seeing a K-pop concert at that venue, because for whatever reason, I guess companies or groups or whatever, when they tour, they usually skip DC, or when they come to DC, they just choose smaller venues. So I've been to National Harbor a couple times for concerts. I've been to Warner Theater a couple times for concerts, but never to Capital One Arena. And actually, that kind of brings up an interesting point recently, because both aespa and LE SSERAFIM have announced tour dates for North America, and both of them are actually coming to Washington, D.C. and Capital One Arena once again. So I did already scoop up tickets for aespa for the Washington, D.C. show. And then just today, as I'm recording this on a Tuesday, by the way, but just today, LE SSERAFIM announced the actual like venues and tour dates for their North American shows, and they also announced when tickets are going on sale. And so tickets for the North American shows go on sale, I think it was May 29th, but if you have like Weverse membership, whether it be the US specific one or the global one, you can sign up for pre-sale, and pre-sale I think is May 27th, which I think is a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm definitely going to, because I do have the global Weverse membership, I'm definitely going to apply for that and then try to get into pre-sale so I can scoop up some LE SSERAFIM tickets for that show. And that show is actually, I think, October 5th, which is 2 days before my birthday. So that'll be a nice little birthday present for me to enjoy a concert from LE SSERAFIM. So we love that so much. And then I think also their next tour stop after DC is in Newark. And I think it's on October the 8th, which is Yoonjin's birthday, I believe. So that'll probably be a very special night for her as well. But yeah, I guess to kind of wrap up the Twice concert in a little bow, since I got a little sidetracked there, just let me know if you guys, if any of you guys saw Twice in North America or went to any of the shows, and, just let me know how your guys' experience was. So, like, where'd you sit? Did you have a favorite song or a favorite performance or whatever? And yeah, just let me know in the comments if you guys saw Twice and if you enjoyed the show. But I had a great time. I'm definitely, not disappointed in the show. It was a really, really great show. All the members were super, upbeat and energetic the entire show, very, engaging in the crowd and stuff like that. Jihyo, during her solo performance, it seemed like she was giving, 120%. She was going hard with the dance moves. So you could definitely tell there was a lot of effort put into that show. And as I mentioned, it was a very, very great show indeed. So yeah, that was kind of my Twice concert experience. So moving on from Twice, that means we can now get into my NMIXX concert experience. And so they also came to Washington, D.C., but it's not really technically Washington, D.C. I mean, they came to the D.C. metro area, obviously, but the venue they performed at was MGM National Harbor, which is in National Harbor, Maryland, and so that's where I saw them. It's actually a casino, so it's a theater inside of a casino, so you can actually, if you wanted to, and if you're of age and can gamble, you can go to a concert, and then after the concert, you can stay and gamble at the casino. So that's definitely a perk. I'm not really a gambling person, but if I was, I mean, that would be an awesome excuse to go to the casino, right? But that's where I saw NMIXX, and actually, before I even get into the concert, there's something that just popped into my head. So Lily, she was doing a live stream, I think. I don't know exactly why she went live. Maybe just to talk to fans or whatever. But she did a live stream the night before the National Harbor concert. And it was so funny because I saw this clip on Twitter. I didn't watch the live stream myself, but I saw a couple clips. And one of the clips was Lily not arguing with chat, but just asking chat where she is in the world. So it was chat talking to her, trying to tell her where she's at. She's like, okay, so I'm in DC, but I'm not in DC. But DC is a state, but it's not a state, it's a district. And Washington, DC is different from Washington State. And then Maryland is its own state. And it was so funny, watching Lily talk to chat about this, because me being from the DMV, it was really funny to see someone try to wrap their brain around I guess the geography of the area, or the concept of DC and then Maryland and Virginia also kind of being a part of that, but not really, because Maryland is its own state, obviously, and Virginia is its own state, obviously. And then DC is not a state and it doesn't have representation. It's just a district. But it was really funny to see Lily try to wrap her head around it, because she's like, oh, I get the vibe. I totally get it. And then 5 seconds later, she's like, no, wait, I know. I totally don't get the vibe. I don't get it. She was like, when I go to the concert tomorrow, how do I address the crowd? Do I say hello, DC, hello, Maryland, hello, National Harbor? And it was just so funny, listening to chat try and explain things to her. And at the concert, if I remember correctly, I think she just said all three. So I think she said DMV, National Harbor, and DC, because people also suggested to her to say DMV, because me personally living here, that's an appropriate thing to say, if you're performing at National Harbor or anywhere close by DC, right? You can address us as DMV and it's okay. But it was just, like I said, it was so funny, that live stream, and I was laughing my butt off, man, when I was seeing them clips, because chat was honestly leading her astray at some points, and I was like, you guys are so funny. So that's, I guess, a little story about like my thoughts of that live stream that Lily did the night before the concert. But as we get into the concert itself was also a really fun time. I didn't get there early at all, actually. So I did also go with a couple friends of mine, and we didn't get there late, but we got there and then ate. And then because the food court is like pretty close to the theater, we kind of waited to go to the theater like well after the gates open. And we actually timed it pretty perfectly because once we left from food to go to the gates, we pretty much walked right up to the gate. There was no line. It was almost 8 o'clock at this point, and that's when the concert was supposed to start. So we basically got through like security or whatever and went straight to our seats. And once we sat down, that's when the music started to like get really loud for the intro to begin. And so we pretty much got to our seats right when the concert started. So didn't really get to do too much like pre-concert things like merch or anything like that, but we did still get there on time. And real quick here, I am going to press pause on the story for a minute because I am very close to the end of my first little section of photo cards here. So we just have this last Una ID photo card for ice cream, and then I am done with all of my ITZY photo cards. And what I'm actually going to do is incorporate, okay, those aren't the Una photo cards. These are the Una photo cards. So I'm going to incorporate these mini photo cards now into this big stack of ITZY photo cards, and then I'm going to put them right back up top here. I'm going to try to not have them fall out of my hand because that would be very, very bad, but that is our first stack of photo cards done. All right, so now we are going to move on to Red Velvet, and I'm going to continue the NMIXX story. So once the concert began, it actually started off with a bang because they started off with Oh Oh, and that was a very good performance. And I think I mentioned this in a recent video, but a lot of the songs that NMIXX did on their set list, other than, because like, here, I guess I'll lead with this. So my two favorite songs for NMIXX, which were also like on the set list, are Know About Me and Blue Valentine. And so those were honestly the two songs I was most looking forward to, like in the concert. But as I went into it and started to like, the concert started to go along and they started to do more and more performances, I started to like really like a lot of NMIXX's other songs. And this is kind of how like my progression of, I guess, liking NMIXX has kind of progressed. So I think I've mentioned in a recent video that I've always kind of checked in on their title tracks, and none of them have really stuck with me. And so I kind of just never really like sought out any more of their music. But when Know About Me came out last year, and then especially when Blue Valentine came out, I was like, these two songs are so good, and I really like these two songs. So maybe I should like start listening to NMIXX more. And so that kind of convinced me to go to their show, especially because they were coming, locally by me, so I didn't have to like travel very far to go see them. And once I went to this concert back in April, I found that a lot of the songs that I didn't really vibe with when I first listened to them, however long ago they were, when they performed them at the concert, I was like, oh, these songs are like really, really good. Like I really enjoyed them. So I don't know if that was because there was a live band there and maybe like I got it a lot quicker or a lot easier because like the music was being played by a live band, but I really enjoyed a lot of the songs and a lot of the performances. Cause me, like, for whatever reason, Oh and like Dash and a couple of their other title tracks never really clicked with me when they came out, but at the concert they were really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And so I think NMIXX, their concert at National Harbor was such a good show, and I came out of the show liking NMIXX a lot more than when I went into the show. Not saying I didn't like them at all going into the show. I obviously enjoy some of their music, right? But like I said, I just have like I guess more of an appreciation of their music after the concert as opposed to before. So I guess I'll go with that in terms of how the concert kind of not like changed my mind, but just kind of made me appreciate more like their music. So that's how I left the concert. And I also want to say, like, going into the concert, it's not that I didn't know hardly anything about NMIXX going in, because that's not true. Like, I did know some things about NMIXX going into that concert, but I'm not like super active in their fandom or fandom spaces, I guess, like I am other groups like ITZY or Red Velvet or aespa or whatever, right? So kind of what I see is kind of just what hits mainstream. So like, for example, I know a lot about Lily, one because she speaks English because she's Australian, right? I think she's Australian. But she also like pops up in a lot of like, I guess, reels and clips and stuff on my timelines because there's a lot of funny moments during her live streams or whatnot. And the same goes for Haewon, because Haewon's kind of like the quote-unquote meme queen. And so I find Haewon very interesting because she definitely knows her memes, and she also like has a couple memes of her own too, like Waymo Check and stuff like that. So I also really like Haewon. And then one member that I also really enjoy, so I guess I'm kind of going through my top 3 right now. So it'd probably be Lily, Haewon, and Bae would probably be in my top 3, because Bae, during this concert in particular, so the show that I went to, she is just like, she's an energizer buddy, man. She is like just bouncing off the walls, super energetic and super engaging like the entire time. But then also like you can tell like in interactions with the crowd, like how much she cares about, you know, her fans and stuff like that. So Bae is just like a really sweet person. And then I also did see one thing that like convinced me I think I like Bae as part of like my top 3 was last year. I think it was their opening show of the tour. I think that's what it was. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think it was the opening show of their tour. So this would have been in Seoul. And Bae, like, I think it was Haewon, broke out like a piece of paper or something because she was going to, I guess, read off a letter or thank a whole bunch of people that she wanted to thank. And like she wrote it all down. And like immediately when Haewon did this, Bae started like breaking down and crying because she was like so like humbled and thankful, and just all of those emotions like just got to her in that moment. And when I saw that clip, I was like, that is so sweet. Like like it just really like endeared me to Bae as a person. And you know, to be like so bright and bubbly and then at the same time just so caring and wholesome like that, I just find really sweet. So if I had a top 3, which I don't think I really have decided a bias yet, but I definitely think Lily is up there for sure. But if I had a top 3 in NMIXX, it's probably Lily, Haewon, and Bae. And all 3 kind of for different reasons, I guess. So if you guys were curious, that's kind of my favorite members in NMIXX. But let's get back to the concert because I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. So back to the concert, I think my favorite performances were probably Oh, so the beginning. And I think a lot of that had to do with the intro of the song, like at the very beginning of the show. And obviously everyone is super hyped up at the beginning because it's about to start. So I actually really enjoyed that performance. And then probably, what's the other song? I can't remember the song right now. Hold on, I might have to look this up. But there's another song that I really enjoyed, so let me look it up. Okay, so I looked it up, and I'm pretty sure High Horse is the other performance that I really enjoyed. So that was another great song, and just really liked that performance. So High Horse is right up there in terms of my favorite performances from the concert. And then, of course, you Know About Me is right up there, and Blue Valentine, I think, is probably my favorite overall. And then something that I found was really interesting was something that I found that was really interesting. Gosh, oh my God. My English, good Lord. But something that I thought was really interesting was during the encore, they played like a Christmas song. I was like, it's April right now, but we're getting a Christmas song in the encore. So I was a little like taken aback by that. I don't know if that's like an actual Christmas song that they do, but that was definitely a shock to the system because I was like, oh, I feel like so jolly all of a sudden, but like it's not December, it's April. So I thought that was pretty cool, and definitely like a little curveball in the encore. But during the encore, I think this might have been, well, during the encore, they kind of split up the encore. So I think they might have did like an encore song and then did some like talking with everyone's like final thoughts and then did a couple more songs. So they kind of split up the encore in that way. So they came out, did a song, and then during the talking part, Lily, like what she said in the talking part, like it just absolutely like touched my heart in terms of like how like sweet and humble and caring and just down to earth she seems to be. Like what she said in that ending just like thoughts window, I forget what there's a name for it, but that ending talking portion, what Lily said was just so endearing and sweet, and I really appreciated her for that. And it really made me like connect more, I think, to the group and their music, and I definitely think that factors in. I mean, we're kind of getting off topic again here, but I think being connected to a group and liking their music also has a lot to do with, you know, the people that make the music themselves and, you know, how they, I guess, carry themselves, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? So if you know, follow or listen to groups that make music that you like, whether it be, you know, NMIXX or Red Velvet or ITZY or whatever, like it definitely makes you more like it makes you like the music probably a little bit more, or it's a lot easier for you to like the music a little bit more if you are connected to the group in that way, if that makes sense. So I think that's also one reason why I'm coming around on NMIXX's like discography in general, and it's because I'm learning more about the members and I'm appreciating like all of the effort and all of the thought that they put into, you know, all of these different things, whether it be choreo or music or just whatever, right? So I definitely think that's helping in terms of swaying me and liking their music a lot more. And I will say, because just yesterday NMIXX came out with their latest release, Heavy Serenade, and for one, I've been listening to Crescendo, which was the pre-release, for a while, because I think that came out 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it actually is on Spotify. So I thought people were just posting about it like on Twitter as like a gotcha, but it actually did go on Spotify, and you could listen to the audio of Crescendo on Spotify. So I've actually just been streaming that since it's been out, and I really, really like Crescendo. And then when Heavy Serenade released yesterday, I haven't listened to the full album yet, so full disclosure, I've just listened to the title track, but Heavy Serenade as a title track, I also really, really enjoy, and so I'm looking forward to checking out the rest of the album. So yeah, I'm just trying to but just listen to more like just new music and groups that I don't normally listen to. And so NMIXX is definitely one of those groups, and you'll probably see a little bit later, you know, IVE is one of those groups, and Chu is one of those soloists. And so I'm trying to expand my horizons in terms of all of the things that I listen to. And now, real quick, we are once again going to pause the little story because I want to do something special with this Silgi photo card. So this is the broadcast photo card that I got for accidentally on purpose, and I want to be as careful as I possibly can with this photo card. So I actually am going to double sleeve it. So you'll see I had it already sitting in a top loader. I didn't take it out of the top loader after I like unpacked it. At least Well, I took it out like on the video, you guys saw that, but then I put it back in after the video, and then I just have been leaving it in the top loader until now. But I do want to double sleeve it, so I do want to grab one of these Mayday game sleeves, and then I'm going to put this in. How do I want to put this in? So if I want to do, yeah, I want to put it in this way. So I'm going to slide that in like that, and then I'm going to put it in this bigger sleeve right here, and that's how we are going to sleeve this Silgy broadcast photo card. So this one is going to be double sleeved. It's going to be the only double sleeved photo card in my regular photo card binders, but again, I am just so over the moon and happy that I have this photo card. And I'm just, like I said, I cannot believe I'm holding it, honestly, in my hands right now. So that is it for Red Velvet. And so I'm going to very carefully stack these back in the middle, and then we can move on to the rest of these photo cards, and I can kind of wrap up my NMIXX story. So yeah, going back to NMIXX and the concert experience, that was pretty much like a broad overview of my experience and how fun it was and how much of a good time it was. When the concert ended, I did get a chance to go to the merch stand, and I was hoping to pick up a shirt, but unfortunately they did not have my size available at that point, so I just opted to go for a keychain. And then I also did get another keychain because one of my friends bought 4 keychains, one for everybody, and so as a gift they kind of gifted that to me. So I ended up coming out of the concert with 2 keychains, and you guys, if you saw my previous haul video, you guys would have seen both of those keychains because I did show those in that haul video. But yeah, it was just overall a really great time. I'm so glad I went because, as I mentioned, I just feel more connected to NMIXX's music and I have more appreciation for it. And yeah, I'm just excited to keep, checking them out and listening to their new stuff. And, I'm trying to use a lot of self-control because I know myself, and I know that when I'm checking out a new group, I kind of just throw like my whole like emotion into it, and I want to like start collecting them and get all of their albums and photo cards and stuff like that, right? So I'm trying not to do that with NMIXX. I know some of you might like want me to collect NMIXX or ITZY, because I might talk about ITZY a little bit later as well, and they have also made an appearance on my channel quite recently. But I am trying to listen to their music, but at the same time, like I said, control myself and not go too crazy with buying a whole bunch of albums and photo cards and stuff like that. I still want to just stick with the groups that I got right now. And so that's mainly like ITZY and Red Velvet and, of course, aespa, LE SSERAFIM, and, I guess all these random collections that I have. So like Got the Beat and Everglow and just, collections like that, right? The collections that you guys have been seeing on this channel for almost 3 years now, right? Those are kind of the collections I want to focus on. But I also won't completely rule out that, in the future, you might see me do like an unboxing for one of those groups, or you might see me pick up a photo card or 2 from one of those groups. I can't rule it out completely. So I am checking out their music and I am enjoying myself. And I'm also very excited for a whole bunch of new music to come out very soon, actually, because I think next week LE SSERAFIM is going to release their full album Pure Flow, and then also next week ITZY is going to release Motto, and then I don't know if it's also next week. I want to say it might be the week after, but aespa is going to release Lemonade, of course. So basically those are 3 releases that I am very much excited for, very much looking forward to, because those are 3 groups that I collect pretty heavily, especially ITZY and aespa, because obviously for LE SSERAFIM I only collect top 3. But yeah, there's so much new music coming out in May, and it's going to be very hard to dedicate all the time that probably needs to be dedicated to like actually listen to all of these albums, but I'm certainly going to try, and I'm certainly not going to complain about all the new music, right? So we are done sleeving aespa, so now let's go ahead and move on to Le Sserafim. All right, so moving on, we have Le Sserafim now, and I do just want to say, I hope that my, I guess, rambling, because I do feel like that last like section of the video where I talk about both concerts, I guess, was very rambly. Like I said, I'm just kind of doing this like off the cuff and talking, and it's very much like stream of consciousness. So what's that guy's name? Jack Kerouac, I think. He would be, I guess, very elated with the way that I do my sleeving photocards videos, because it's very much just like say whatever comes to my mind. So I remember reading like back in high school, I think it was high school. It might have been college, but I'm pretty sure it was high school. We were made to read one of these Jack Kerouac books, and if you guys don't know, I think it's Kerouac. I think he's an author, and I think that's his name. I'm pretty sure. But I'm also not going to double check it. So you can definitely correct me if I'm wrong. But his style of writing is stream of consciousness. So I remember reading one of his books because we had to for like schoolwork and stuff. And it was one of the hardest reads probably of my life. Because it really was just this person like telling you a story, but it was just almost incoherent rambles at times. Like it was so crazy. So I definitely, like, if you want to read for leisure, I would not recommend one of those books to read, because it is kind of a tough read. It's not an easy read whatsoever. But when I think of my sleeving photocard videos and sometimes how I get rambly, I think of stream of consciousness, and I think of Jack Kerouac. I think I'm saying that correctly, and I think that is the last name. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about my sleeving photocard videos. But I am kind of also at the point in the video where I don't really have anything super prepared to like talk about. So now I'm kind of just searching for things as I sleeve these photocards here. I've already kind of, I feel like, talked to you guys about some things that I'm thinking of that are coming to my brain. Oh, actually, you know what I can talk about? I can talk about making my first short ever. So this was also a couple months ago now. But I thought the experience of making my own short, it was kind of like fun and interesting. And if you guys don't know by now, I did do a sponsorship with Album Buddy. So Album Buddy reached out to me, and they wanted me to do a couple videos for their website or whatever. And so that gave me the opportunity to, I guess, branch out and try something new. And it was actually, for me, it was kind of scary at first because I don't really make shorts, and it was kind of, I don't know, like I had to do a lot of research before I started the process in terms of like, okay, what does, you know, Instagram Reels editing look like? What does YouTube Shorts editing look like? And I didn't even end up like editing that reel or short with either of those editing softwares. I ended up just editing it with my own editing software and uploading just to like the site or whatever. I didn't edit like in YouTube or Instagram whatsoever, but the process is kind of what I want to touch on because I found it kind of interesting, and it also made me think about others who make shorts or reels or just short form content in general. It made me think about how long it takes them, or how long it might take them to make each of the reels or shorts that they do, because let me tell you something. I did a 90-second short form like reel, and that took me like 6 or 7 hours total. I'm sorry I just said 6, 7. I didn't do that intentionally, but it literally took me like 6 or 7 hours total for a 90-second reel. And I guess I'll get into that and talk about why it might have taken me that long. So first off, I had to think of the idea itself, right? And so I knew I was doing this short form content for Album Buddy, and I wanted to use it as an opportunity to, as I mentioned, branch out. And so because I am a faceless YouTube channel, it's kind of hard for me to, I guess, do a lot of the things other like channels would do. Like if you aren't a faceless channel, you can like, show yourself, just talking on camera, or surfing on the website that you're trying to promote or whatever. Like you can do so much. Like there's so many options to do in terms of like videos. So for me, I had to think of the idea. I was like, okay, how do I do this but also remain faceless? And how do I do it so that I can do like short form content? And what I initially came up with was I'll just do like, I guess, an explanation video of just like a screen recording of me surfing the website. And I can kind of just, use captions and present it in a way that might be engaging. But then I also thought, I was like, that's kind of boring. Like if I'm scrolling through Reels and I come across something like that, I'm like, I'm not gonna like stop to look at that. I'm not even gonna like even take a second look. I'm just gonna keep scrolling, right? And so I was like, all right, how can I present like what I need to present while also being faceless and also like have it like be captivating in some way? And so just very randomly, I was just sitting like watching TV one night and it just popped into my head. And this is all completely true in terms of how the idea came to me. I was just like, why don't I have my photo cards talk to each other? Because obviously photo cards are pictures of faces on them. And I was like, that would be perfect for a faceless YouTube channel to basically have photo cards talk for them, because it's still as if like someone is talking. And like I can just basically film the photo cards and then have my voice edited over top of it, and basically have them say whatever I want to say. And it would also be like cute in a way, because I think it would grab people's attention and be like, whoa, why are these photo cards talking to each other? Especially if I like start it off, because one thing that I wanted to do at the very beginning of the short, because what grabs your attention in a lot of shorts, at least for me, is those shorts that have like a zoom in and like a quick like zoom in and stop effect. Like I guess if you're like someone who's holding the camera and vlogging or something like that, and you like do a quick zoom in and like say something real quick, and then you go about like presenting whatever you need to present. So I wanted to do that to kind of grab people's attention, but then I also wanted to incorporate some other things into it, which I will get to, but I'm out of sleeves, so I need to change boxes and open this one up. So I'm gonna do that. So quick pause real quick. All right, so I got the new pack of sleeves open, and so we can continue with this story. But my goal with that reel was to kind of just like get people's attention in different ways. So one of them was to like zoom in at the very beginning, like very quickly and sharply to kind of like catch your attention. And then the other was to kind of just like make it a conversation. And I felt like if I made it a conversation between like group members, that it would also be kind of just more fun and like, I guess, engaging. So I came up with Le Seraphim specifically because of the two like jokes that I used in that reel. So at the very end, there's two jokes that I have. So I used the she ate joke where like Sakura says, like, yes, I'm 8. And this was after like Eunchae said, oh my God, she ate, and like Yunjin was cracking up or whatever on the side. So I threw that joke in there. And then the other joke at the very end was the Chipotle joke. And so if you don't know the Chipotle joke, that's Chaewon, where she did like, I think an Instagram live after a concert or something like that. And someone asked her like what her Chipotle order was. And she was like, no beans. I hate beans. And so I was like, I can incorporate both of those things like into a little skit. So I started to just kind of like brainstorm and map out like how the short was going to go. and I wrote together like a whole script, which this is the first time I've wrote any sort of script since like college when I took film classes. So I kind of had to like dust off the old like script writing, I guess, talents of mine. I wouldn't even really call them talents, but just like I had to do a little bit of script writing. And so all of this was like off the top of the dome, and I was just trying to figure out exactly how to word things, but also make it like concise. That was also a big challenge. So like making this short, I actually wanted it to just be 1 minute long. But after I did the script and I wrote out everything that I wanted to get into it, it actually ended up being about 2.5 minutes long. And that was with just me like regularly talking. So that wasn't with it sped up, right? So what I ended up doing was when I laid everything out, which actually, first of all, it might be easier for me to explain exactly how I filmed it because I made it probably a little bit more complicated than I needed to, but it was the only way I knew how to film it in terms of what I wanted to do, because I knew I didn't want to film it in terms of like the camera movements and talk at the same time, because that would be too much for me to focus on. So I wanted to just film like the camera movements as one like section and then record the talking parts and then edit them together in editing. So that's exactly what I did. So I edited them together in editing because I had just the video of me moving the camera. And I mean, in like the raw footage, I'm talking as I'm filming, but that's not the audio I ended up using. I ended up using separate audio where I was just specifically focusing on like the lines that I was saying. And so in editing, what I did first was, because I needed to sort out the audio, because that was the main thing that I'm concerned about, I actually like imported and edited the audio first. And so I squeezed it down, like I increased the speed to, I think 1.5, and I told it to increase my pitch. So like, it's obviously like a very high pitched voice when you watch the short, but that's actually my voice at just like a very high pitch. So after I increased, the pitch and I increased the speed of the audio in terms of how fast they would say things, it was down to about 90 seconds, which is what the final short or reel ended up being. And so I felt like I was okay with 90 seconds because, shorts on YouTube now, they can be up to 3 minutes. And I feel like a 90-second reel also isn't that terrible for Instagram. And so I felt like 90 seconds was fine. And so once I got the audio down, I then drugged the video that I recorded and basically started to chop around like the audio and chop up the video based upon the audio that I had edited. And so I went ahead and did that. And then of course I had to add like all the B-roll footage that I had gathered from the website, where it's just me like scrolling on the website like on my phone and showing things off that way. And then I also had to add like different captions and stuff like that. And so by the end of it, it was about 6 or 7 hours later, and I had a finished product and it was good to go. But I was like, man, this is like 6 or 7 hours of work for just 90 seconds of content. And I was like, that is crazy. I probably made it a lot more complicated than what it needed to be because, it was my first time doing short form content. And I also wanted to do it in a very specific way in terms of how I recorded things. I wanted the video and the audio to be recorded separately because when I did the audio, I wanted to be able to focus just on the audio in terms of when I was speaking. And so, yeah, it was just kind of like, it was fun. Like, don't get me wrong. It was so fun. I enjoyed being like really creative and putting that reel together. And I'm very proud of that reel. And I'm just very like happy that it turned out so well. But in terms of like doing that like more often and, just borderline all the time, I don't know if I could do that. So if you are here for the long form content, then this is definitely the channel for you, because I am also here for the long form content. I do want to mention that I am done sleeving these miscellaneous photo cards. But before I get into these photo cards, which will require different photo card sleeves, I am going to sleeve these duplicates off to the side here. So I guess let me just maybe stick them right here, and then I can go ahead and start. So yeah, that's kind of what my experience was making that short, and like I mentioned, I am very proud of it, and I'm glad it worked out so well in terms of just like how I felt about it. Not necessarily like looking at the numbers or engagement or anything like that. Like I didn't really like care too much about that. But what I wanted to do was put out a video that I was really proud of, and a video that like I know that I put a lot of like hard effort into. And so yeah, I was really proud of that short, but like I said, I'm not going to be doing very many shorts in the future because I need to probably, now what I could do I guess is like just take clips from my long form content and make them into shorts, which would probably be pretty like low effort, but I don't really want to make, I'm not saying that it's low effort like if you do that. I'm not trying to like throw shade or anything like that, but it's just not the content that I want to make per se. Like I don't like to do that. I would just much rather have the long form content, and then like if you want to watch like shorter portions of it, that's why I have the timestamps, right? So if you watch my content just for ITZY or just for, you know, Red Velvet or whoever, right? You can use the timestamps to skip around to watch what you want to watch, and then you can kind of just move on about your day. So I kind of just prefer to do it that way as opposed to making like short form content videos and uploading them to my YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels. So that's kind of the story, and I think it's probably a good ending point because I will need to wrap up on all the yapping and talking here pretty soon, because I only have 2 duplicate or extra photo cards left to sleeve, and then once we're done with these, I'm going to need to break out the new Meow Cafe sleeves that I got, and then we're going to sleeve the Rujin and Giselle photo cards. So I am very much looking forward to that, as we have this Ning Ning right here, and we are done with that. So these are all of the extra or duplicate photo cards that I just sleeved, and I do actually, before I move on and start sleeving these photo cards, I do want to mention that pretty soon I might be, I don't know how soon, but I might be opening up my eBay to the YouTube channel. So I don't think I'll post it on my YouTube channel, but I might add it to my card, which is linked in my About Me on my YouTube channel. But I recently got a P.O. box because I'm doing this giveaway or whatever on my Instagram. And so I was like, I want to get a P.O. box so I can use that as a return address when I ship these albums out. And so I was like, I got a P.O. box now, so nothing is really stopping me from making you guys aware of my eBay that I have, right? So I've mentioned it a lot over the last like 2.5 years that I have this channel, that I do have an eBay and I do sell on it. Right now, my stock is pretty low because I've been making a lot of sales lately, so I have less than 10 orders active right now. But what I might be doing in the near future, because I have a P.O. box and I will just feel a little bit safer sending stuff out with that as my return address, that I will probably make it available to you guys on my card, not necessarily directly on my YouTube channel, but if you go to my card, I will probably add it there somewhat soon. And so if you live in the US, because my eBay is currently just US only, and again, I do apologize to any international like viewers or followers out there. It's just the easiest thing for me to keep my eBay US only for right now, but I won't rule out like opening up to international orders in the future. So if you just want to check it out and you're in the United States and you know you just want to take a peek and see what I have, and you know you find something you like, you can purchase from me, that's totally cool. But I did just want to mention that is going to be a barrier, or I guess boundary, that I'm going to be tearing down somewhat soon. And yeah, if I ever don't have a PO box again, because I only bought it for like a couple months or whatever, if I like go away from having a PO box, I'll probably remove my eBay again. But like I said, I just want to let you guys know that I might be adding that to my card pretty soon. All right, so as I finish setting up here, I am going to do these slim fit Meow Cafe sleeves that are 57 by 88 for the inner photocard sleeve, because these are going to be double sleeved, and I do have one color each of these premium bordered sleeves. So I have the pink for Giselle, and then I have this dark blue indigo color for Rujin. So these are all of the sleeves that I'm going to be using for these two particular collections. So we have the bordered sleeves for Rujin, and so now I'm going to grab one of these inner sleeves that we're going to start with, and I'll put this Rujin in this way, and then I'm going to grab the bordered sleeve. And I did decide I'm going to make sure the front of the photocard is facing this like clear side of the photocard, because I think that's the way it's supposed to be. So you're supposed to be able to see like the full front of the photocard without any of the border like around the edges, but we still can obviously see the back of the photocard here. So that is what the first Rujin photocard looks like, and then I'm just going to continue with the rest of these Rujin photocards in the dark blue sleeves. So I have this next Rujin photocard. She's going to slot right in right there, and she looks like that. Very, very pretty. And I'm very excited for the next storing video, because obviously I'm going to begin putting all of these photocards away into my brand new Meow Cafe collect books for Giselle and Rujin, and so I am very much looking forward to that. And like I said in a previous video, I don't think right now I have fully decided if I'm gonna like arrange them in a certain way, or like the cards I collect is going to be dictated by like in terms of like eras. So like I'm not going to have like one page for, you know, Born to Be, one page for Crazy in Love. Like I don't think I'm going to operate that way. I think I'm just going to grab whatever photo cards that I like and kind of just arrange them as best I can in that collect book for right now. So these are the 4 Rujin photo cards that I have to start my Rujin collect book, and she looks very, very stunning in these dark blue sleeves, so we love that so much. But now we need to move on to Giselle, so let me pack up the rest of these sleeves, and we are going to switch over to the pink. Okay, so we are transitioning to Giselle photo cards now, and I think I have 5 photo cards of Giselle today. So she is going to go in the hot pink sleeve. So I have that upside down. Which way is it supposed to go in? This won't, there we go. Okay, so I did have it upside down. So Giselle is going into these hot pink sleeves, and so that is what the first photo card looks like. Very, very pretty. Let me go ahead and do the first sleeve for this next photo card, which I think I mentioned, but this was a photo card I was worried that might be fake when I initially received it. However, in looking at it a lot closer, I do think it is real. I think just the coloring and the saturation is just, I think it's off on this photo card because it's just where she took the picture, right? Because we have this yellow light kind of directly above her head, but I do think it is a real photo card. And then we do have another photo card of her in the same outfit right here. And so we are going to slot that in, and we are going to put her in the bordered sleeve right here. And that is what that photo card looks like. Up next, we have this red-haired Giselle photo card. So Redzelle from Rich Man era. Very, very nice. And then we are going to put her in this pink sleeve right here. And that's what that photo card looks like. And we're going to move on to the next one, which I think this is also from Rich Man era. It looks like I got a decent amount of Rich Man photo cards to start off this collect book. And to be quite honest, I still don't really know, because I do have one spot left in my initial Giselle collect book. I still don't really know what I'm going to do with that one last spot. Like, I don't know what card, if any, I'm going to get for that last spot. Or if I'm going to just keep that collect book. I don't know. I could, like, change it into something different. But I'll have to think about that a little bit more. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with these, like, 5 or 6 photo cards that I have. And these are the photo cards that are going to go into my Giselle collect book at the very beginning. But yeah, we have all of these sleeved now. So these are my Rujin and Giselle photo cards inside of their Meow Cafe slim sleeves, but then also inside the bordered sleeves. And I think they look so, so good. And they're going to look even better when they go inside their respective binders. So that is all I got for this sleeving photo cards video. So I'm just going to clean everything up real quick, and then I'm going to outro. Alrighty, so that is all I got for this sleeving photo cards video. It did end up turning out to be a very long video, as I predicted, and I do apologize if I got a little bit too rambly throughout portions of this video. I always, even though I like talking, I always do kind of worry that I ramble too much and I might like start to lose you guys because I talk so much. So I hope I got all my points across, and I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. And of course, if you guys have any thoughts of your own, definitely share them in the comment section below, and we can definitely have a little chat down there as well. My next video that I plan on doing is going to be a storing photo cards video, so you will see me store away all of these photo cards that I just sleeved in this video, and it will probably also be another very long video, so if you like those, definitely look forward to that. And I do think the timing is working out pretty good in terms of once I'm done with making that storing photo cards video, I can then just move right into unboxings for ITZY and then aespa, because ITZY releases next week, and next week I'm going to be filming that storing video. So hopefully if those albums get to me by the end of next week, once I'm done uploading, like filming and uploading that storing video, I should be able to just roll right into an unboxing for ITZY, and then hopefully the aespa albums follow suit and they can get to me pretty quickly as well, and we can just go right into an unboxing for aespa. So once we get done with those unboxings, I will have a photo card haul to follow that up. But yeah, it's just a busy, busy time once again in the month of May, just like it was last year, but I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are too, for all of the new music and new albums that are coming out. But I think that about sums up this video in its entirety, so I'm going to wrap this video up and get out of here. So thank you guys so much for watching to this point in the video if you did. I hope you have an awesome day or night whenever you watch this, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.